We've got uh, we've got the new Workspace Studio that we're going to go over today, and I want to take a couple moments and introduce myself. I'm Stan Jesenowski. I own an AI company called Jez Digital here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today the new Workspace Studio came out, so I thought I'd take a few moments and show you guys some of the new ideas that I've been coming up with on the Workspace Studio by Google. So it automatically comes with your Google Workspace account. And it's just it's under studio.workspace.google.com. I'll put it over here in the comment section if anybody's interested in trying it out. So let me copy that over. And voila, there you go. Okay. Um, let's see. So I've been playing around with this all day since it came out. I currently use N8N for my automations. I just do some real basic ones. Just I currently have that hosted on AWS. So my initial reaction is this is going to be great for those that are already in the Google Workspace environment. So if there's things that you want to do, such as uh, pull data from an spreadsheet, or actually just get like daily news emailed to you. And I'll show you that in a bit, how to do that. Um, okay, so let's take a look at a couple of these and then we'll go build one. Here's one that I've built already. I just email myself the cell value in A2. Okay. Um, here we go. So let me explain this to you. Oh, got an error there. So let's take a look at this. Let's Okay, so here we go. We've got the schedule to start with, right? So this is every day at noon. I get an email and I go and get my sheet content. So this, all I'm really doing is looking at stock prices and sending myself a sentence right here. And that value, I believe, is incorrect. I think that was the problem. So there's what we want. Let's take a look at this. That fixed the step. Okay, and let's go ahead and save changes. Let's show you real basically what this thing does is it starts on a schedule every day at noon. I go out to a spreadsheet, and what that spreadsheet does, I'll show you here real quick. Let's see. Here we go. All this spreadsheet does is give me a stock update, right? So I track 4 stocks. All it does is use a financial prompt here with Google Finance, and it sends me an email. Hey, the current price of Amazon is $229. Meanwhile, your Nvidia stock is trading at 182, and Sentinel One is $17, and Bitminer is currently trading at 34.76. So all I want to do is get a brief email every day, and so here it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this and do a test run. Click start. Let's see if there's any errors. And then it's getting there it goes. It says completed, right? It sent the email. Here's the sent. And there you can see it's updated right there. And so I should be getting that in a few minutes. But let's go back and take a look at this again. And let's start it fresh. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll create the plus sign over here. And choose a step. I'm going to choose a starter when sheet changes. No, I really want to just pull a cell out of a sheet. So I'm going to go back here under discover. I'm going to describe an agent. So this part I think is pretty cool. I've been playing around with this a little bit. So they didn't have, at least I didn't see it, where you go grab the cell. So this will do it for you, right? And so I'm going to say, I want a scheduled task that goes out and pulls cell A2 out of my spreadsheet I guess it's Google Sheets, and emails me that cell information. Okay. So that's basically what I want it to do. Let's see how it does. Okay. So it's going to go build this for us, at least the basics. So it's thinking, it's working. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's on a schedule. So this is pretty close actually. Okay, so we're going to say weekdays, right? We're going to choose starting tomorrow. We'll say, let's say we want to get this every day, like after the stock market closes. So we know what our stocks do. Okay. We only want to get it Monday through Friday. So it did a good job of seeing that we only really want to get it during the week. So right now we're going to go get our spreadsheet, which is entitled N8N. We're going to insert that. Okay. Sheet 1, that's correct. Okay. The column that we want is that. And the value that we want is actually just any, because I only have one field in there. Okay. So now we've collected the data. Now it's time to send the email. The next step, send an email, send it to myself, right? I'm going to change the subject line to stock update from Google. Okay. All right. And down here is the message. Let's see what it does. Let's go to variables. I want to get sheet contents. I think it's going to be this matching values. I think, let's see. I don't know. This screwed up a little bit. This is definitely different than what we got before. Here's the information from cell A2. Nope, maybe that was correct. But let's try it. Okay, let's do a test run. It's just saying you're going to go live and this is actually going to do something. Okay, and now what it should do is it should send me a link right here to my sent. So let's see what it did. Yeah, it didn't do it. It just sent me my drive. So let's go try to troubleshoot this and see what we can find. Okay, so send the email. Okay, that goes to send an email. Okay, send an email from your account to, that's correct. Subject line's correct. This is wrong. Okay, so let's take this out. Oh, that was sending a location, which we don't want. We want to get the content. Let's see if it's that. Okay, I already have it formatted pretty nicely. So let's try this now. All right, let's see if that's better. So that was incorrect. What I had on there was location, which is just like Google Drive, right? So let's see now. And that's correct. So that fixed it. Here we go. Amazon's price currently $229. Nvidia's price is 183. Sentinel One, $17. And Bitminer is currently trading at 34.86. So let's go take a look. We are all done here, and all we got to do is turn it on. And so let's rename it up here. Okay, we'll call it test. All right, test. We'll call it test 4 because this is the 4th agent I've done. And now to turn the agent on so it actually runs, you just go here, click turn on. And voila, that's it. So let's take a look at some of my other agents. I'll show you. Here's one I did, get a news brief daily. let's see, 5 content ideas for my Facebook group, Get Rich with AI. Okay, let's try running some of these and see how they look. Okay. So all I'm doing here is on a schedule, right? Step 2 is I ask Gemini to give me a quick update when I start my day. I'm interested in the following topics: Google Workspace AI trends, right? Gemini and agents and other AI trends, right? So I want data down here. I want data that include AI, Jacksonville Jaguars, Paul McCartney, big Beatles fan, and then the stock market, and of course, Purdue basketball news, right? I don't want any Purdue football news. So I only get the Purdue basketball news. But so let's run this. And then I send the email to myself, and it's nice. I mean, it gets me out of the doom scrolling. So it just sends me an email of exactly what I want. So let's go ahead and test run this, right? I'll show you what this does. Okay. And by the way, that runs on a schedule. I get that sent to myself. I scheduled it for noon. That was pretty cool. So I want to stay off the internet as much as humanly possible, at least off my phone, right? I don't want to doom scroll or anything. So this would be great for me, right? And here's the email that we sent, right? Here's an email. This is what I sent to myself, right? I've got Google introduces Workspace Studio, which ironically is what this is on, right? Uh, brings AI agents to Gmail, Drive, and Chat, which is true. That's what we're going over now. Talk some more about Workspace. And then what's cool about this is you got all these links. So if you want to read more about it, you can just delve right into it right there. Stock market says what's happening there. Okay. We got Logan Cook named Jaguars club winner for 2025 Walter Payton Man of the Year. The Titans might not agree with that after last weekend. They saw the vicious side of Logan Cook. So anyhow, so we scroll down here, injury update report. So see who's out before the Colts game, or at least who's not practicing. Okay. Paul McCartney news. He just made a new Wings book. That's pretty cool. I was fortunate enough to see Paul 3 times on this last concert tour. So twice in Atlanta and once in Nashville. So that was fabulous. Nashville was incredible. There's just 4,000 of us watching Paul. And then we got the Purdue basketball news. Notice I'm not following the football. I'm a big Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, by the way, for football. So anyhow, sorry if that offends some of you. But here's the Purdue basketball news. All right. There we go. And let's go back and go over the last one that I did here. So that was a news brief. And then I wanted some content ideas for my Facebook group, right? So I told it, please generate every day, every morning, start with 5 unique and engaging content ideas for my Facebook group entitled Get Rich with AI. The focus should be on new and legitimate, practical, and high quality ideas for making money with the help of AI, avoiding any get rich quick schemes. For each idea, provide a brief description and why it would be valuable to the group members. Okay. All right. So let's come up with this. I don't know why that is saying references are. It did this before. Well, let me do a test run. Okay. Let's troubleshoot this though. All right. The subject is correct. Well, let's take that away. So there's a problem with there. It's in step 2. Okay, that's weird. That's a bug. So I just put the exact same field in that I had previously done. Right. Let's do a test run on this. Okay. So there we go. All right. So it's thinking right now. It's running. Let's see what it does. Up there's the content ideas that it came up with, right? And it emailed it to me. I can see content ideas. So let's take a look. Post idea first, the case study challenge, scaling freelance copywriting with AI, right? It's kind of interesting. Um, post idea. Let's see, AMAs, from ideas to ALAAS, how to sell your first custom GPT. That's kind of cool. I think custom GPTs are an interesting thing. It's going to be like the new app store. The only problem I see facing some custom GPTs is there's going to be a lot of free stuff out there. So, an example of that is I think SOPs and knowledge bases are going to change for the better. It doesn't make sense for businesses to have like Google Docs and Microsoft Word docs for SOPs and knowledge bases now. We can just create an agent or a gem that you can go out and interact with and just ask it questions. So that's a pretty interesting one. Let's see here. Here's an idea for a poll for our group. Which AI monetization model is the most profitable? I think I already know what that's going to be. It's going to be vibe coding. I think vibe coding is going to produce the first millionaire, not the first millionaire, the first billionaire in AI, right? They're going to have somebody who doesn't really know how to code create a $1 billion product. So, all right, fifth idea that it came with, it was launching a passive AI video channel. I don't like that. I don't really like the AI video channels. I've seen them. I think they're trash. I like old-fashioned video like this. Actually, I wish you could pick, not to have any AI video to show me in the search results. Also, I don't like AI music. So I'm an AI consultant, and I don't like a couple things with AI. Um, let's see, here's a fifth post idea. Let's see, behind the scenes, the power of AI and enterprise data consulting. This one would be interesting because you get a lot of the legal aspects of it, right? You get a lot of corporate lawyers that don't want, their data being shared with AI because they're so terrified of it. And I think this gives an opportunity for the small guys to step in, and fill that void. Okay, and let's go ahead and turn that on right there by hitting turn on. Okay, so let's see. All right, go to my agents. It's ready to work. So, is there any agents that anyone out there would like me to try to build? Um, Otherwise, I can just keep going into discovery. I showed this a little bit earlier, but for those of you who just joined us, uh, a neat aspect of this is you go into the Discover tool and you create the Gemini task that you want it to do. So let's say there's an interest that you have. So you just say, uh, daily at noon, send me an email in regards to the Chicago Cubs. Okay. Let's say you're a big Cubs fan, and we'll keep it real simple right there. Okay. So let's try that. Daily at noon, send me an email in regards to the Chicago Cubs. Include information on their farm system. Okay. We'll get some unique detail out. Okay. All right. It's going to hit build, and let's take a look at what it says. It's currently creating an agent. So let's see if it does it daily at noon. Okay. So this should just be a 3-step agent. The first thing that it should do is there it is. It's your schedule. We want weekdays. Ironically, it didn't do it. Well, it tried to do it at noon. I guess that's right. But I always like my stuff. I don't like them to bother me during the weekend. So, but we'll say, sure, just bother us every day at noon. Okay. Ask Gemini. It created it right here. And it went ahead there and went a little bit more detail on the farm system reporting. Okay. And it just, down here, by the way. So this is pretty cool. This, you can actually tell it, hey, just go to web only. go to the web workspace. So that would be more if you had content that you wanted to dig through your stuff. So if you had like a repository of information on some topic, right? So you want to go dig through your items, right? Your knowledge bases, and then also go out to the web. That's where you choose that. Or if it was just one of your own items, like I showed that earlier with an Excel spreadsheet, not an Excel, but a Google Sheets. Okay. And then down here, we got send the email, right? Daily Chicago Cubs and farm system update, right? Content created. So let's go down here and choose test run. Okay. It's going to warn me that we're going live, is all it was telling me. Okay. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask away. If you guys want to see any examples. Okay. And there it is, right? Pretty cool. I like this because it'll keep me off my phone, right? And I want to stay off my phone as much as humanly possible. So let's take a look at what it said. There we go. All right. Gives us a little bit of information about the Cubs. And that gives me a farm system and prospect update. That's pretty cool. So I'd be interested in seeing if like tomorrow's update's different, if it knows, right? Or is it have memory? I really can't answer that. But there you go. It gives you information, injury updates, recovering from injuries, right? So there you go. Voila. Turn it on. You just click turn on, right? So some of the differences that I've seen so far between like Zapier and N8N, there's more premium connections and there's more connections in Zapier currently in N8N. So, but there are some external connections in this. I saw Salesforce. I saw, some project management software. Let's take a look at that under Discover, right? You've got some other stuff here where it'll give you a daily summary of your unread emails, right? Send me summaries of action items after meetings. Okay. Um, let's see here. These are just some of the pre-built templates. Okay. So let's say start emails for follow-up, notify me about urgent emails, get meeting reminders. Okay. And then here towards the bottom, we're going to see where it actually integrates with some other stuff. Here's a Jira issues. So if you're using the project management software or Asana tasks, right? There's some integration there. I noticed earlier there was some Salesforce integration. There it is. Create Salesforce and contacts and tasks from a form, right? Okay. Let's see if kind of curious if how much it can do here. Let's see. Can it take my let's see. Move my uncompleted tasks to my calendar and make each, let's see, I'll say in schedule each task for 30 minutes on my calendar. We'll say it's starting at 4 p.m. today. I don't care about the order. So let's give it a little bit more detail. And let's see what it comes up with. Move my uncompleted tasks for my calendar to my calendar. Let's see. And schedule each task for 30 minutes on my calendar starting at 4 p.m. Let's see how it does. That's not really that worded that well, but let's see how well it does with my English. Okay. So here we go. It's thinking. I think we're gonna have about 3 steps, but I'm not sure. Nope, 4. Okay, so step 1, schedule it. So we're gonna it wants to schedule it today. Let's schedule it for 4. Oh, no, we gotta run it. We wanna run it before. That's why it scheduled it for 3:55. Ask Gemini. Let's see what it came up with. Please list all my currently uncompleted tasks from my task list. Okay. All right. And so then it formatted that a little bit better. Task name, task list. Okay. So let's see how it does. And there it connects that. Set up a meeting. I don't know about that. I think it's going to schedule everything at noon and end everything at 2. So, okay, let's see what it does. Okay. Let's see if it can do any of this stuff. Okay. It found the tasks, right? And did it, I think. Interesting. Oh, nope. It put it for 12 to 2. Ironically, it dumped it out. It told me to put it in there. Okay. So it gave it more detail about that. But let's see here. Let's go digging through that. Let's see if we can't fix it. So the problem was here, right? Let's go through the variables. It didn't show me step 2 as a variable. So it did that. And then here, interesting. So it got the task name correct, right? Step 2 created. This was the problem right here. Scheduled task blocks. That's the title. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure that we can do this. Starts at, okay, so this is the problem. It's only making one task. I've got 4 tasks out there. So it's only making one calendar event, excuse me. Okay. So does not repeat. Yeah, can't do the logic. Nope, it won't start one. Nope, no logic there. Okay, so if anybody out there can find out how to do this, let me know. Shoot me a comment. Um, let's keep digging. It's kind of interesting. And maybe it was in my wording. Let's see what add step does. Well, that's kind of interesting. Ask a gem. Check if send a. Okay, so here's steps that we can add. So let's take a look at this. Let's just delete some of these steps. Okay. Let's go with one of the gems that I've created here. One of my SOPs. Enter a prompt. Okay. Okay, so this is still going to start every day at 3:45. Ask Gemini. Okay. Let's see. This is going to be tell me about Stan's video setup. Let's see what this does, if anything. Let's see if this runs that gem. But saying missing's input. Okay, let's see what this does because I'm not emailing this time. This time I'm seeing if it pops up. There it goes. It did, right? So it's kind of interesting. So I guess I could email that SOP to people. That would be interesting. So what this is it's an SOP that I created. It's a gem. Here, let me show you. Let me go to my Gemini. And I'll show you over here. Video production SOP. Okay. Tell me about Stan's setup. Okay. And what this gem does is it's an SOP, a standard operating procedure or knowledge base. It goes out there and it tells you all about my gear setup, the camera that I'm using, which is a Sony A7 IV. My mic I've got here is a Shure mic, my lighting, all my settings on there. Oh, I've got a question over here. Thanks. Let me check it out. Is it working in starter plan? Uh, I have good question. I have the basic $16 plan for my Google Workspace. So I'm not sure if it's on the starter plan or not. But we can check that with Gemini, right? Or do a little bit of searching here. Okay, so real quick here, back to this gem. So what it does is I gave it instructions here, tell you all about this. And then at the end, it's going to ask you, do you want to download my PDF, right? Which is the SOP. But what's cool about this is it's like you can go on these wild tangents and ask it more about, tell me more about Stan's camera, right? Is it the latest, right? This is interesting because yesterday the new Sony A7 V just came out. Let's see if it knows it. And is it the latest? All right. Camera from Sony. Okay. So to answer your question, here we go. Is it working in starter plan? Let me take a look while that's running. Okay, Google Workspace Studio. I'm just checking here while we wait. Up, that's done. Interesting. So let's see if it sees the 5. Oh, I didn't even give you an answer. Tell me more about it. Just dug into my camera. Really didn't go out to the web, but it did tell you some of my settings. Oh, here it does talk about the newer cameras. No, it's not the absolute latest. Let's see. Since then, yeah, they got the A7R5. Let's see if this is a little bit off, by the way. That's A75 rumored, but not yet released. That just got released, I believe. Well, I guess it's not an official release date. Here we go on the starter. Let's see. Back to your question here. Get started here. Let's see. Well, let's see. Where does it say if it comes in? I guess what you can also do is inside the comments, I created a link there for you, and go ahead and click that link and try it. It'd be interesting. You can feel free to let us know. Right. So there's a studio cheat sheet. I can't see it in here where it really tells you what version you have to have. Minimum requirements. Let's see that. So I don't know if on your chat you had a chance to check out to see if it did work. Okay. Anyhow, if you could let us know in the comments. All right. I have the basic it's $16 a month is what I pay for the basic plan. Um okay, so let's go back to this. We were talking about gems here. And let's go back to this, ask the gem. It did work. I could email that, right? So if I want to add a step, send an email I could send it to myself or you send it to somebody else. Variables, I want to go ask for a gem, content created by the gem. And you say, here is the content you requested. Okay. Just put that in content, show more steps if I want to CC or BCC anybody. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a test run here. All right. If anybody has any more questions, feel free to shoot them over to the comment section over there. And here we go. It ran. Okay. Run completed. Go to my sent email. There you go. It tells you all about that and tells you what I use. There's my whole gear setup. All right. It worked. So let's go back here again. Let's look at some of the different things that it can do. Decide, summarize, extract. These are just some of the AI skills. Recap unread emails for the day. Okay. Tools, check if. All right. Send a webhook, filter out information, Gmail. Here, send an email, remove labels, chat, sheets, Google Drive, see if anything's changed. Create a doc. Oh, here's some of the Asana integration. Create project, create a section, create new task. Oh, it's got HubSpot integration, create contacts, Jira, MailChimp. Here's some more. QuickBooks, Salesforce integration. And so it's starting. So you do get a lot more integrations with the N8N. I've got that currently running on an AWS Light Sales server. If anybody's interested in that, I created a video show you how to create that in just 10 short minutes. So, all right. Well, let's see. I'm going to turn this on. Just keep that in the agent portfolio. Let's go back to Discover again. Okay. So once again, in Discover, this is where you go to create just a random AI agent that you come up with utilizing Gemini here. Okay. So the plus is where you do the standard. Okay. You have to choose a starter on a schedule. That's what most people do. Weekdays, right? Choose a step. Here we go. Create a task. Okay, create folders, update row, add a row. Let's see what this does. Spreadsheet. Let's go grab that spreadsheet that I had already. Okay, and let's tell it last data row, sheet 1, stock update. Okay. Let's do add step. We'll do add Gemini. Okay, and say, tell me the stock price of CRM, which is Salesforce. Okay. All right, now let's move this. Let's see, move that up 1. Okay, then we're going to add a row. All right, so let's see over here, variables. We're going to add it to there. So that should tell me the stock price of Salesforce. Okay, so let's do this and see if it adds it to the spreadsheet. So it's running. Okay, see if it works. So once again, all I had to do there was, oh, it got a whole bunch of data. Okay, so let me open that up. There you go. Brought in like probably way too much data. Real time stock price 247.69 and all this other data about it. Okay, very cool. All right. Let's see. Let's go digging through a little bit more here on the Discover. Streamline my follow-ups, catch up on news. We already did that one. Connect your team, better meetings. So if you're using Google Workspace, there is a lot of connectors in here, right? Once again, let's do a new agent again. Okay. When it talks about choose a starter, right? This can be a trigger event, right? Or this can be a schedule. Like here we go. Schedule, or when I get an email. So every email that you get, you can have it go through it and say, hey, is this from Gary, right? Stephen Wilson Jr. reference there, if anybody's listening, is a Stephen Wilson Jr. fan. Let's see. When somebody joins a space, notify me, right? When a Google Sheet changes, something in a drive change is edited, right? This is pretty nice, right? When an item in a folder is edited. So if you've got an important folder that you want to really be kind of let people change, but you still want to be notified when there's changes to it, that would be a good one. When an item is added to a folder, okay. Let's see, when I'm mentioned in a chat message, that would be a good one. Okay, so let's go through here again and we'll do a schedule again, right? We'll say workday at 8 a.m., choose a step, right? Here's all the different steps again. Okay. Remove star. Let's do another Ask Gemini. Okay, let's see. And is there anything out there? We'll say, tell us about the new products from Google, especially Google Workspace Studio. All right. We don't need any variables for that, right? That's all that is. And we're going to email. Okay. Send an email. Oh, never mind. Wrong one. Didn't read that correctly. Choose a step. There we go. Send an email to myself. And we're going to just say that subject line is what do we say? We were asking about Google updates, right? Okay. Uh, here's the news you requested, right? All right. So that should, and then the variables here, we're going to pull up the gem. Okay. There we go. Content provided. Let's go do a test run. Click start. All right. It's running. Looks like it's going to run here. Let's go out there getting some news data about the Google. There we go. This is the updates. This is everything that's new, right? And if you go to my email, you can see it right here. There we go. Workspace Studio agents, right? Everything we're working with right here. Schedule release. Oh, hey, here's your answer to, let's see, business starter. So yeah, it says available for business starter, standard, and plus. So let's see if I can reply to you there. Available in starter. Okay, very cool. So there we go. It's coming and basically everything. And then it also talks about other interesting things about Google Drive and Workspace here. Let's see if there's anything. Summarize and understand file. That's very handy. Contextual updates, side panel, Google Docs, new features like the Help Me Write features in Docs, translated captions, Meet, summarize conversations, and provide automatic translations in chat. That's very handy. And there you go. Voila. So, hey, I want to thank everybody for joining me on this live. It's actually my first live. So, but we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.